Hello, everybody. Been having a thought. Maybe want to share it with you. See what you guys think. So, we're all born being a human being, a pure human. When a baby comes out of the mother, it is the purest form it can be, right? Everybody that's been a mother and a father has seen that. It's like a blank canvas. Can't talk, can't barely move, doesn't have an ego, doesn't have a trying to become something. It's pure. Then as we go through our lives, we start to come to pile on everything that we're trying to become. I want to become more beautiful, more rich, more powerful, more strong, more smart, more wise, more spiritual, more religious, more. I'm always trying to become something. And as we go through life, we start piling on so much of what we think we need to become or what we think we need to be to fit in with everybody, that we start getting super heavy. And then there comes a time when the lights go out, you go to another dimension, because nobody really knows where you go, that you have to give that all up. Okay, so you're born this pure human, and I feel that we die as a polluted human by so much of this greed, so much of this ego, so much of this trying to become something, so much of this holding on to things. But again, all these things that you're trying to collect and all these things that you're trying to become, you have to give back. We have to give everything back. Every hate, every judgment, every comparison, every thing, every person, even your wife and your husband are going to be somebody else if you die. You get what I'm saying? Every car, every dollar is going to be somebody else. You have to give it back. So that shows to me that from birth to death, it's kind of fictitious. It's fictitious if you die and you can't take anything with you. If you can't take anything with you, then what is it worth? Why do we take it so serious? It's kind of almost like a game. It's kind of almost like a joke if you think about it, right? If you come in with nothing and you leave with nothing, then what is all this in between, right? And we make ourselves in our lives miserable by trying to become so much and trying to become what we think other people want us to be, or trying to fit in with everybody else. And we put all these labels on us. Label, and you take yourself so away from being the first ingredient, a human being. And if you're going to put a label on you that I'm a something, then you better be fucking proud of it, or you're going to be offended all the time, like you're starting to see. Because everybody has to have a label on themselves. Everybody has to become something. But then they're so offended by what they want to become because they truly don't honor it. And then they want to point the finger that you offended me. No, how about you be strong enough not to be offended? Okay? Those are the things that you're looking at. So again, through this time, why do we put so much emphasis on what we have to become, and what we're not, instead of just playing with it? If we have to give it all back, then it doesn't mean anything. When you have fun with something, and it's so easy for you to give it away. But if you have to work and you don't like what you're doing, and then you gain something, you want to hang on to it so much. That's why I feel everybody's so fucking greedy in this world, is because they're not doing what they love to do. So they're trying to hang on to it so much. When you love what you do, you just give it away. Who cares? Give it away because I had so much fun doing it. If that makes sense. So these are the things that I look at and I think about. And for me, it almost brings freedom to my life, because once you can get to a point where you don't give a shit what anybody thinks about you, says about you, feels about you, it's absolute freedom. And so here's a little trick. As you see, I put stuff on Instagram just to kind of irritate people, just to poke them in the balls, you know what I mean? And also just to kind of look ridiculous, because there's a little bit of a process you can do. Try to embarrass yourself every once in a while. Try to make yourself look a little ridiculous. Why? Because then you stop caring what people think. You stop caring what people say. You understand? Because when you see that it's nothing. It's just these people's ignorance, or their inability to see who you truly are, or their closed-mindedness, if that makes sense. So sometimes I just like to make myself look ridiculous, because I love to hear what people have to say and all their little bullshit. And then after a while, you just don't care. It's awesome. And then you start to become more of you. You start to become your authentic self, if that makes sense. So then you stop trying to become something. You stop trying to fit into something. You stop trying to put a label on yourself, because you don't care. You're your authentic self. So remember, when you're born a a blank screen. Here comes your mother, whoosh, your father, whoosh, grandma, grandpa, whoosh, 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 your society, your religions, your school, your friends, all putting their own little paintbrush stroke on you, and then you become kind of a duplicate. And nature, remember, doesn't make duplicates. It only makes one of a kinds, masterpieces. You understand? So take everybody's brushstroke away and start finding that masterpiece that's under that duplicate that someone painted over you. Understand? So just my outlook on things, and how I allow myself to be more free in my life is not to get hung up on trying to become something, trying to create some persona, and then also seeing through this kind of dust that we get confused with and with this life. If I have to give everything back, then why am I so serious about trying to keep it or achieve it? Or if I die and my body goes away, then why am I so focused on what color I am, what, you know, my nationality is, what my religion is, all that? It, to me, kind of, it's fictitious. It's all fictitious instead of being here and enjoying this time that we have and this experience that we have. Is it my job to try to focus on what comes on after? Is it my job to focus on if there's God or not? No, I'm not intelligent enough to try to conceive what that is. My job is to live this life as present and as full as I possibly can. That is my giving back to the gift that I was given to be a human being and to experience the most amazing experience you've ever experienced. There's no way you're ever going to come across an experience like this in my understanding. So I honor being here, and I put myself in that present moment as much as I can at all times in everything I'm doing, and not focus on what if, what could, after death, before death, right now. And if you do that, you learn to charge life. So, my little speech today. Have a good day.